A common way of doing this, I've seen this done where they'll create other tasks and they'll just have do stuff where it does the await in there. Or if you want to do a lot of asynchronous programming, you can change your main to be asynchronous. Now, the first thing that you'll notice is it can no longer be void. A void or int returning entry point cannot be async. So this has to be of type task there. And so now this method here, let's go ahead and go back to print even numbers. So main can call these, but we can't just put await here. So if we do just await and await, it's going to give an error. Type void is not available. So these cannot be of type void. They actually have to return a task. And in fact, this works here because this is doing a task run. And so these have to now be task. And so we'll do print odd numbers first. And so now this is going to be the same as what we would do here. So all we need to do is just do return task dot run, and then make a lambda expression. And this right here, this closing parentheses, will actually go at the end here. And we need to put a semicolon. So all of this will be in the lambda. So this is a lambda statement. And so that we actually need to put a curly brace here and a closing curly brace here. It'll automatically indent everything. Get rid of these extra lines there. So all of this is one statement. So if you remember from the lambda discussion, you can have multiple statements in a single lambda. That's all this is. This is multiple statements. Now, ideally you wouldn't do it like this because this can get a little bit unreadable, but this is just returning a task. Now notice that down here, this is no longer complaining. It is actually set up correctly. So we have to go up here to our print even numbers, and we can do the same thing there, or we can actually put expensive evens there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And expensive evens will also work. So now if we run this, notice that we're actually getting it in the same order. So that's not all we need to do. I forgot about this. So this is still doing this in kind of a synchronous way. It's doing this synchronously and then this synchronously. So what we need to do is we need to create a task to do this. Print even is equal to, actually we don't want print evens, we want expensive evens. And task print odds. And this will be the print odd numbers. So these, since these are a task and we're actually getting back from those methods, we're storing it into a task, and this could probably actually be var. Yes, it can be var as well. So these can be var. Notice it says it's task because it knows what it's getting back. Now we can await those. And so now when we run this, notice that this is back into the asynchronous way of doing it. Notice we have 11, 13, 8, 15, so on and so forth. 0, 1, 3, 2, 5, 4, 7, 9, 6. So in order to do this, this has to be this has to have the async keyword, has to be of return type task, even though we aren't actually returning anything, doesn't really matter. But the methods that we're calling, we either have to make it a task and then do a return there, or we can do the same where we create a separate task or a separate method of type task, returning a lambda call to the non-task method. And then inside of main, we create a variable of type task for each of those because each of those are returning a task. And then we just await each of those. And that's really all there is to it. If you wanted more information, there is a really good article on Microsoft's page, which I will link a little bit below. Once I find it and I upload this to YouTube, I will put a link there which demonstrates in quite a bit more depth than what I've gone over how to create async and how to use it along with better graphics.